It's time to call this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Okay, number one on the, first of all, do we have any public comments?
No, sir.
No public comments, so now we'll go right on into number three, regular agenda items. Discussion, consideration, possible action regarding the minutes from the Planning and Zoning public hearing and meeting on July 16th, 2024. Have any discussion on that?
I don't.
No objection.
There being no further discussions, then I will entertain a motion that we accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
There's a motion and a second that we accept the minutes of our previous meeting held on July 16th, 2024. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Let the record show that the P and Z passed the reading of the previous minutes from the previous meeting in July. All right, we have discussion and possible recommendations on the plat for the .103 acre green space drainage lot within Rio Bravo Section 1. So Jorge, do you want to share anything with us this evening?
Yes, good evening. This is my first PNC meeting, so I decided to go the long route. They say that I cover all the bases. But I made a mistake on this one. This plat, the Reno plat, is an 80-acre lot. It was submitted on September 13, but it was never presented to council, so we don't have an approval. However, the intention with this application is to dedicate .103 acres for the land as a green space and drainage area within the lot.
So you're saying you omitted the reference to the full 80 acres in this document?
No, they submitted the request to be incorporated into the ETJ on September 15, but that was never presented to council.
So technically, we could table this motion, because there's no action necessary right now.
So it's not in the ETJ at
No,
this point?
no,
Okay. And the other one,
Okay, so it's,
So is it the two parcels, is it the one where the current .103 acres and the one to the north?
no, it's gonna be one parcel, 80 acres, and within, they're gonna dedicate .103 acres as a drainage in green space.
It's pretty small drainage. Pretty small, are they connected to the one
No,
next to it?
no, they're adjacent to Santana.
Okay.
okay, since this has not been passed by the city council, that it's not in our ETJ, then we could table this motion. It's at your will, because we can't act on it. It doesn't belong, we're not responsible for it.
table it until the next meeting?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it,
Pending the approval from city council.
Council.
but are we to discuss
What are you trying to get
if
at?
they should be in the ETJ?
I said it was a
Is that
mistake from
what-
my part. I thought it was already approved by council, but when I rechecked on it, it was not. It was, they submit their request to be annexed into the ETJ,
Right.
but it was never presented to council.
And that's, by the way, that is no fault of Jorge, by the way. He wasn't on.
So quick question on that, so if it does get annexed, is the city providing services?
No, all the services are provided by Sunterra, water and wastewater. We don't provide any service to them.
So what's the benefit of them getting,
Why? ETJ, why would they seek to be in the ETJ?
is it just
Why-
for
why?
a simpler process to
That's-
get their plat?
Mhm.
Is it just to kind of avoid going through the county?
I'm assuming they want to go into the county, and if they go in the ETJ, they probably will be seeking in the future to get services from the city. To get water from the city, you have to be annexed to us.
Okay? Any further discussion on this?
Why would they want water from us? I'm just curious, so what would they want, if these are just drainage ponds, why do they need water from us?
I don't know what they're gonna build in that lot, and when they plat, no, they don't show, any plat, they don't show any construction drawings, so we don't know what they're gonna build.
Okay.
This is
So-
just,
They just wanna annex the lot into the ETJ. The purposes still no.
but it puts us
But
under,
we can assume they say in the future, they're seeking water and wastewater from the city. And for that, they have to be within our city boundaries.
Okay, well, I just want that to be out there so that way everybody knows.
But is
but
it-
also, if they, like I said, this is something that we don't have to worry about right now. We can move on to go basketball.
Just one question.
No, I was just,
Yeah.
So it's currently in ag, is it zoned as an ag right now?
And
Yeah.
it's outside the ETJ, no, we don't have any zoning on it.
Okay, so
is on this second page, I understand it's premature to address this, but on this HB 3167 states the plat meets the requirement of the approval authority that cannot be denied. So if they are admitted into the ETJ, any vote we have would just be like stamping
I believe
approval.
the HB is, you cannot, if approved, you cannot deny them to be incorporated.
Right, but if they meet certain criteria, there's no discretion, well, they meet it, but we still don't want to admit them, it's that it's required to be approved. Is that,
If
I'm curious.
if they meet the criteria, yes.
But we don't have the authority to approve
Yeah,
it.
right now, the authority to
At
approve
this
them will be the
point.
council, yes.
Council
At
has,
this point, right, just overjoining.
and then they'll come back to us for that approval for that 0.103 acres. And when they do,
so
I've
why
got
is
a question which I'm gonna bring up on the next one, and we can discuss that one when we get to that as well. No use talking about it now.
so why is it before us if that's the case?
Again, it was a mistake from my part. I thought it was already incorporated. When I double checked, it was not.
Okay.
I found the application, their
So
application.
we're just doing this because of, and it's okay that it's a mistake, it's good, you caught what needed to be caught, and that's the most important part. So just double understanding why we're here to table this, let the council make the decision,
Correct.
and then it can come back to us. Okay. I'm good with that.
So we're gonna table it.
yes.
I will.
Go ahead. Now I'm gonna take a motion. We can table it.
I'll make a motion to table this.
Second, it's been moved and seconded that, table the motion, or table this item of the agenda,
3.2.
the, 1.03 acre green space drainage lot within Rio Bravo, section 1. That was our business item. Okay.
Similar to the other one, this one was submitted and approved by council on July the 2nd.
Wait a minute, we haven't gone on the second one yet.
Yeah,
We haven't voted on the table, so hang on. So, all right, so if there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of this motion to table, signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Let the record show that this, motion has been made that we table, the, recommendation on the plat, for the 0.103 acre green space and drainage lots within the Rio Bravo, section 1.
I apologize, but I didn't hear who seconded the motion. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now then we'll move on over to, item number 3.3. Okay, now, Jorge, you want to talk about this one for a minute?
Now, this one is Rio Cresta Development. This is a 79.3 acres in the east side of 35. All services are provided by Sonte Ramon. It was approved by council on July the 2nd, 2004. So they are already inside the city limit, the ETJ. They are requesting to incorporate within the same lot, dedicate 3.26 acres as a green space and drainage lot in the area. we don't have set of plans of what they're gonna build, they just dedicating that section as a green space, for future development.
Two questions, so there's 390 residential lots.
That's what they, running in the paper, but we don't have a set of plans of how they're gonna lay the layout.
So they're just dedicating a random spot, or is there?
Well, they.
According to their
already pinpoint
engineer.
in the map. It's a lot adjacent to County Road 375 by Bright Middle Cove.
You said 79 acres, right?
It's 79 acres.
So it's two parts, I looked at it, and there's two parcels there, but what they're pointing out to is outside of that.
That part that I'm pointing here,
I'm looking at this plat map here. Yes, so.
the purple,
So this is the parcel that you're identifying, that's 79 acres?
and the point that they're dedicating is that corner over here. Okay,
Sure.
right here, adjacent to 375.
So is it this guy right here?
That one here, yep.
That looks like it's outside. I could be wrong. Because there's a road right here. Comes out right here.
And Middle Drive is over here.
That map will be modified and later on, that will show that that's in the ETJ. You see that little red line?
Yeah, the red line is the current
It'll be
ETJ,
changed.
has to be modified.
It just hasn't been updated. This map hasn't been updated yet for the ETJ.
What was the date you said the city was incorporated?
July.
It was July 2nd, 2024.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sally. Okay, my concern, I'll just tell you what my concern is. And we know there's been some problems on who oversees and manages the wetlands. And I know that, there's some rules and regulations they have to comply with on TNRCC, I guess it is, TCQ or whatever it is. Anyway, they've got some rules they gotta comply with on that, but, I don't want the city to be caught in any bind where they expect us to maintain that wetland. This is their development, it's part of Sonterra, let's spell it out and have it in the application when we approve this. Let's put it in the application that they're responsible for the maintenance of that wetland, all aspects of that wetland. What's gonna happen if flood or something and it floods that road and it goes into somebody else's house over there? Who's gonna be responsible for that? If we do have 100-year flood, and I don't wanna see the city have to absorb that expense. So, I'd like to see that, that if we decide to approve that, 3.260 acres, that we also add an amendment to that approval stating that they are responsible at all times for that maintenance and upkeep of that wetland in all aspects of it.
When you say they, the Centerra Municipal District?
Well, that's,
Or the people that are petitioning for this?
the Sonterra Municipal District MUD is in charge of the water and wastewater services. The developer and Sonterra Municipal MUD, if they approve this subdivision, which they have, and they said they're gonna provide the services, they along with that developer are responsible for that wetland, not the city of General. That's all I'm asking, is that we put that in there and spell it out, so that there's no confusion.
I'm assuming that's why they wanna put it in the ETJ, is to make us responsible for it.
Could very well be.
To be honest, would you view it that way, Jorge?
Or the whole lot is already in the ETJ.
It's already in. But I don't,
They just stating that they're gonna dedicate 3.325 acres for a wetland. But everything has been already,
Well, they're not dedicating, they're doing it because they have to, for whatever it is
Yeah.
they're going to build over there.
correct.
that's correct.
So who is responsible for it at this point? Who has been responsible for it at this point?
At this point, for the land is being, I'm assuming will be the owner and the developer.
So what happened, okay, so then that's the thing, what happens when the owner is done with it? Where does it go?
It should be written, well, if you ask me, we can bring it to them that in the documents, construction documents, the statement, we stated who's gonna be responsible for maintaining that wetland. It could be the development, it could be any entity that's.
Any entity but the
That's
city
not
of
the city.
Gerald.
But the city of Gerald, that's it. I mean,
That's what we need to ensure,
Okay.
that's what we need.
because if they're in our ETJ, but we're not gonna be responsible. That's my hopes, and I know you two can understand that. It's very clear and spelled
Yeah, it
out
needs to
because
be
you live in the
clear.
home place, but anyway, we don't
So
want that.
it should be, what you're trying to make a suggestion that this is incorporated into the HOA, if they have one,
Yes,
as part of the maintenance of the, green
And it
spaces.
needs to be very specific,
I agree.
But can it be
because
worded
it
in,
can't, it needs to be more than just vague what that HOA
Yeah,
is.
it's gotta be
I can sure forward that recommendation.
Okay,
but what, wording it the other way, that you said any entity other than the city of Gerald?
Yeah.
Is that?
I mean, if they contract a company who do the.
Right, because, I mean, that would that be sufficient to take care of any vague HOA language or the MUD not wanting to?
No,
take care of-
what he's saying is when they do this, it'll be in their HOA that they're responsible and not the city. Because I'm assuming this is a tract of homes that they want to build over there, correct?
For what they
For
wrote,
what?
395 residential lots and 500 non-residential, that's what I'm assuming, I just don't have a.
You can't make a promise on it, but
Correct.
it certainly looks.
they haven't got it turned
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
But whatever language need to be incorporated, that's something that I can run through our legal department, make sure that the right verbiage is incorporated into the.
Absolutely, that's all that matters,
Okay,
that's all. I'm
but we gotta make
requesting.
that amendment. The motion, we can make the motion to incorporate it, and approve the wetland with this
Yes.
expectation.
Yeah, do that.
It all, so
Yeah.
we need a motion made in that way.
Okay.
If y'all want to give.
So I do have a question / clarification. So typically, whenever you bring a parcel in, it gets annexed to the city. Then it goes through a zoning process. This has not been zoned, but yet they're requesting approval for drainage. Shouldn't they get approved for zoning first?
TNRCC's, you gotta have, before you can get approval on your subdivision, you gotta have approval from TCQ. I guess that's a requirement. If your land has any slope to it, and you gotta prove how you're gonna handle that runoff.
If that's part of the development.
That's it, but the plans they haven't finalized the plans for the development yet. They're pending.
Yeah, but typically, and again, based on
I
ordinance.
don't understand what he's saying, if we don't have a zoning for that area defined yet, and that's something that we have to get back to you on, with an answer, I don't have an answer.
But that's the way it's again,
My understanding, that's the way.
that's the way it goes. You get annexed, then you get zoned. Within that, you can also submit your plat, whatever you wanna do. But it seems like we're skipping that step.
Well, when it says the plat has been reviewed for compliance with the city of Gerald's,
If it's approved by the
Unified
council, it's already
Development
approved,
Code.
it was already approved by
Yeah,
council.
and applicable ordinances,
So,
down here.
so this was done in July 2nd, or July of 2024.
Correct.
So I guess that didn't go through us?
No,
I don't have to, I was in the city at that time.
you didn't see it in the minutes that they didn't go through it, didn't have to. Because all they were doing is being asked to, they didn't ask for any zoning or anything, they just asked to be
So you're saying I can bring any parcel in and not ask for zoning and do whatever I want?
I didn't say you could do
So
whatever.
that's what this is implying.
Well, I disagree.
I'll take a look at the ordinance, but I believe the ordinance says you have to be annexed, then you have to be zoned, and then you come in and get.
I'm not arguing with you on zoning. They haven't been zoned as far as I know.
But that's the problem, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That they're not
They're-
zoned, we can't even move forward, we shouldn't even move forward
We can-
because they're not zoned yet.
But
They should
I
be zoned.
agree
first.
that they're trying to decide.
But it's already in the city.
they're trying to decide whether they want to, what they're gonna do with the wetland, because they've already done
Well, obviously they know what they have, because they have 390 lots and 5 non-residential lots.
I know they've done a little bit of work, you're right.
They've done
But they're
a lot.
trying to decide, where do we go from here if we don't get our wetland? Because TCEQ says we gotta have a
By
wetland.
default, any development has to have some kind of drainage, so that's part of the development.
That's what I would think.
They probably have it, but they're asking us to approve the wetland.
And I'm asking them to come for zoning,
I don't know what.
because that's.
That would be, the city of Paston approved it, we didn't. So what was the zoning given to that, to this whole plot? Do
It's
you
not
know?
zoned. It's not zoned, that's what.
Well, we
that's
don't,
what
I'm
Eli said.
asking Jorge if he knows, was this plot of land ever zoned?
No, they just incorporate the land into the
Okay.
ATJ.
So then you're saying that we can't approve or we can't make any action on this 3.3260 acres and approve their wetland, because it hasn't been zoned, is that the way it reads? That's what you're saying, isn't it, Eli?
That's what I'm saying, but there's a little bit of contradiction here, because what I'm saying, the process says, annex the land, zone it, move forward with your final plat. What this is saying is that that this has been reviewed, but who reviewed it? Because like, since July, we haven't had anything.
I know, I don't know, I
Well,
can't
a lot
tell
of
you.
times it refers to city staff review. I mean, typically in the language, the past few years.
But that's
what
our
they-
function, isn't it?
But no, the staff meaning the paid
We don't
staff,
approve,
the
we don't
doing city
approve that.
planning.
We just
and
do
that
zoning.
didn't pay roles.
But this is zoning.
Well,
If
I
they
mean,
want a change of zoning.
yeah.
they're changing that 3.260 acres.
Was it annexed into the city or just the
ETJ, there's only, they have to go to Williamson County as well.
So they haven't been accepted to the
So
city, it's
zoning
just an
required in the
ETJ.
It's in the
It's not-
ETJ.
So we have no power over it, other
Yeah.
than.
And not in the city limits, they're just annexing it
Yeah.
to the ETJ.
And that's, yeah.
So that's why they don't.
That's why
they're just
they
asking
don't
for the
need to
water.
be a zone. That's why they don't need to
And
be
in the
zoned, because
ETJ.
they're in the
And when you're
ETJ.
in ETJ, you go by Williamson County, we have some saying on it, but Williamson County is the one who determined the rules.
Well, because they're not directly,
In the
they're
city
not
limits.
in the city. But Eli, look up what he wants to look up.
Yeah.
Just,
I just want to, let me.
Take your time. No, look it up, please, please.
Let's see, green space, let's see, the submitted preliminary plat is specifically for 3.260 acres, green space and drainage lots within the Rio Cresta development. The Rio Cresta development is located within the city of Gerald's territorial jurisdiction and encompasses 79.3, including 390 residential lots and 5 non-residential lots. So that's what, they're in the ETJ, they're not in our city. So we don't have any power over them, other than they're asking for approval for us to approve a 3.260 wetland, which is not in the ETJ. Is that correct?
No, everything is in the ETJ.
I mean, it is in the ETJ.
But it's
So
not in the
anything
city-
they do in
it's
an
not in the
ETJ
city limits.
Anything in an ETJ, they have to get approval on. They don't have to ask, they don't, we can't,
So anything in the ETJ
ETJ,
doesn't have to be
Zoned.
zoned for whatever it is.
That's correct.
A person may want to do
Yeah.
with their piece of property.
that's the way I, so, there
That's
you go.
interesting. That's interesting.
You satisfied with that, Eli?
He's checking.
Give me a second.
Okay.
The justification statement in here,
Is it
it's
planning,
all there, the only piece that's missing is that that the city is not
not involved in it, other than
responsible for any
but they gotta have some,
for any
they
maintenance.
got 20. I want it on this one too.
Yeah. Any
Sure.
maintenance, upkeep, however you wanna say it, the word maintenance it doesn't need to belong to the city. Cause that word means a lot of different things. Or you can give them the option, if they want the city to
No,
maintain it.
no, we ain't.
No, they can pay for it,
No, we ain't gonna do that. No.
but it would much rather.
We're not gonna give them any more responsibility.
Yeah,
They got enough on the payroll.
And this is part of the mud, Santerra mud?
No. Completely.
It says-
They're getting services from Sonterra.
Right, it's a part of their mud, right?
Yes.
Or services.
Sonterra Municipal Utility District mud. That the wastewater
And water.
water will be provided by Sonterra Municipal Utility District mud. That's where they're gonna get that from. The same thing about maintenance on this wetland, or any other part of it.
So according to this, if it's already under a pre-existing, then PNC is not required.
That's correct. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, then, if everybody's in agreement on that, then I'll entertain a motion that we approve the 3.260 acres as a wetland with all maintenance and responsibility to be handled by, the developer, Southwest Company, and owner Pale Rider,
and
and any other,
future
any future owners
owners.
within that plat.
Do you wanna make an affirmative statement also that the city of Gerald will not assume
That means-
responsibility?
That's right, I want that added in there as well. City of Gerald will not be responsible for it.
All right,
Okay,
nothing wrong with that?
is there, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
is there any further discussion? There being none, there being a motion and a second, we proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting the 3.260 acres as stated in the motion with the specifics of City of Gerald not being responsible for any maintenance or whatever. All those, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes. Okay, there being no further items on the agenda, then we shall be adjourned.
Awesome.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.